Hello, welcome to RICO'S Garage. I have here behind me our latest acquisition. Sit down, get comfy, grab yourself a beverage, because I'm full of bad jokes and smart-ass comments to tell you all about our latest project. So here we go. What we have here is a 95 Dodge Ram 3500 Laramie SLT. I mean, back in the day, you were king shit if you showed up in the rodeo with this. Today, not so much. This baby has seen its day a long time ago. We traded $1,000 for this 95 Dodge. Let's take a look at what we really bought. Now, as you see here, our dually has had a pretty rough way to go. We got a little door ding here, a little door ding on the hood, a fashionable RTV silicone headlight repair, which I'm sure that really illuminates going good down the road, but not to worry, because we have these fashionable Caterpillar lights up front, custom installed with every flat washer that Menards had in stock at the time. The paint is fresh, you know. A little bit of rubbing compound on that will make that look great. It's got custom ventilation to keep the engine from overheating. That's crucial. I bought this truck off of a guy I knew a long time ago back in school. Kind of lost touch with him. Put the word out there on Facebook that I was looking for one of these trucks. He says, "Hey, I've got one. Here you go." I taken it off the trailer, shoved it in here in the garage, and got the back filled with scrap metal, because it'll make sense to you here in a little bit when I tell you what I'm planning with this truck. Like I said, we didn't really get a lot for $1,000. This thing has been beat on harder than Tina Turner after I came home drunk. Yeah, I'm that old, and you youngins are probably going to have to Google that reference to even understand what it meant, but that'll give you something to do later, after you get done watching this video. There's just not much else to say about this thing. It really doesn't have a lot going for it. The bed has been thoroughly trashed. I should have videoed it before I put garbage in here, but it's just beat to snot. The tailgate quit opening who knows how long ago. The bumper is not going to do us much good. We'll use that for something. The hitch, I think I can use. Well, look at that wheelhouse. Who does that? This thing is rougher than a stucco bathtub. We do have the custom exhaust turnout right in front. There's just not much else to tell you about the old girl. That's what a $1,000 Dodge Ram looks like. Oh, we need to hook up the tripod, and let me give you an idea of what kind of interior we're dealing with here. The interior of this jewel really is nice. I tell you what, it's just freaking beautiful. We have the custom self-removing dashboard that second-gen Dodges are known for. You know, it just explodes. The rear view mirror waved goodbye a long time ago. Overall, the interior of this truck is a lot like the projects down the road. It stinks in here. It's dirty. Everything is broken, and what's in here doesn't work. So there's nothing desirable at all. The the airbag. We've had an airbag event one time, probably related to that door ding up front, but that's okay. So you're asking yourself, and if some of you eagle eyes have probably noticed, because I haven't mentioned it yet, and figured out why I bought this truck, but you're asking yourself, man, with all these good features, I mean, this quick remove dashboard, that, you know, you can't get that anywhere. Why was this truck so cheap? $1,000. Come on. Well, let me give you a little backstory on it. The guy I bought it off of, when he hit me up and told me that he had this truck for sale and what he wanted for it, he said, I was driving it to work. He works at a coal mine, so obviously he doesn't want to drive a nice truck to the coal mine. This obviously fits the bill, you know. If one of the mine trucks hit it or whatnot, who cares? Adds more character to it. So he said, I was driving it, the fuel filter plugged up, I put a new fuel filter on it, got it running, drove it 2 more days, it quit, pissed me off, put it in the fence row. Done with it. I said, okay, no problem. For what I got planned, it's going to work just fine. So I go there and get it with my buddy Chad, and it's pouring down rain, and like, we're not dicking with it. He had a Bobcat, we backed up, grabbed his Bobcat, shoved it on the trailer, got inside, dried out, and didn't mess with it until we got it back home. Shoved it off in here, and then we're going to find out if we can get it running. So, while it was sitting in the fence row, it seems to have developed another problem, because originally he told me it would crank over all day long, wouldn't fire. Well, now, we turn on the key, dash lights up like a Christmas tree, but no start. So my guess would be, or I should say no crank. Nothing. So my guess is some of the Mises have gotten in here and chewed on some wires. But we're going to worry about that later. So, for those of you that haven't figured it out, you're still asking yourself, why in the hell did you buy a truck? And you've shown us it's got nothing going for it cosmetically. The interior's trashed, and it doesn't even run. Why did you give the guy $1,000 for this truck? Well, looks can be deceiving. Let's open the hood and I'll show you why I gave $1,000 for this truck. This is why I paid $1,000 for this truck. 12 valve Cummins with the P-pump. Those of you in the know, as far as with diesels, know that that P-pump is worth what I paid for this truck. Now, this is an automatic transmission truck, and it's a 95, so this is the lower horsepower version of the P-pump engine. It's not the, I believe, 96 to 98, what they called the 215 pump, 215 horse. That was the one that went in front of the manual transmissions, because even Dodge knew that their transmissions were junk, and they put the lower horsepower engine in front of the automatic. You know. Anyway, this is the 185 horse, but none of that's going to matter because we're going to totally rebuild this thing anyway. And have you figured out yet what I'm doing? This engine is coming out of this truck. I bought this truck for the engine, and you guessed it, the square body 3+3 is getting a Cummins swap. Yeah. Truthfully, it's what I should have done from the beginning. It's what I wanted to do from the beginning. But the 8.1 fell into my lap, as you would say, at a time when I didn't really have the money to go out and buy a 12 valve. So, learned a lot from the 8.1. Hopefully you did too, videoing it. But it's in the back of the truck right now, what's left of it. I've parted it out, sold a lot of parts to some other people with 8.1 projects. So this is what we're going to do now. with all that out of the way, and now that you know what we're going to do with this truck, we're going to pull the engine out, put it in the square body. You now realize that I don't give a crap about any of the rest of this truck. I don't really care about the mice chewing on the wires. I don't care why the key doesn't work or any of that stuff. The fuel shutoff solenoid is laying in the floorboard, which tells me that he's had a problem with that, and they've put on this cable contraption. I'm just going to eliminate the truck altogether and see if we can get this thing to fire. That's the beautiful thing about a mechanical 12 valve. It needs fuel, air, and something to turn it over, and it will run. Maybe not well, you know, there's other issues, but to break it down simply, fuel, air, and something to turn it over, this engine will run. It doesn't care if it's in a truck, nothing at all. That's, you know, diesel guys, diehard Cummins guys swear this is the best engine on the planet, and that's debatable, but it's pretty hard to argue with the fact that this engine, this B-Series Cummins, is in anything from obviously a Dodge truck to a school bus. Ford used it in their F800 trucks. Freightliner had it in their business class trucks. And then off-road, there's a whole plethora of applications that use this engine. And while there's some differences with the pump and everything else that we're not going to get into right now, this 5.9 Cummins you will find on excavators, directional drilling machines, farm tractors. It's just a versatile engine that will run all day long, no problem. This one has 350,000 miles on the clock, and I'm going to rebuild it before I put it in the square body. But in order to know, you know, what we're starting with, right now, we don't even know if it's going to start. We don't know nothing. So, what I've done, like I said, I'm just going to eliminate the truck. I don't care about the truck. Right now, all the truck is to me is a shipping crate to hold the engine. So, I crawled underneath here off camera, put this wire, go into the starter, and we're just going to put battery power right to the starter, see if we can get it to crank. If it cranks, then we'll move on to step 2 and figure out what we need to do to get fuel to this thing. So, let me grab some gloves real quick, and we'll see what happens. We've got the key on, we've got everything lit up, we know we have battery power, but when we hit the key, the engine doesn't crank. So like I said, I ran this wire directly to the small terminal on the starter, and I'm going to see if we can get this thing to crank. So here we go. That's a good sign. Good deal. She cranks. I'm going to let the starter rest for a minute. I'm going to whirl it over again. So I don't know how long this truck's been sitting, so I want to make sure that we get a little bit of oil going to everything. Okay, so we've crossed one hurdle. Remember, we need fuel, air, and something to turn it over. We've crossed the turning it over. Obviously, we're standing here talking to you breathing, so we have air. This engine's not getting fuel. There's fuel in the tank, but let me show you what happens to these 12 valves. If you follow this right here, this cable, normally there is an electric solenoid on here. Somebody has replaced it with a cable on this particular truck, and while I can't get in there to show you, this cable, or the solenoid on a factory application, goes down to a lever on the pump. That lever is the fuel shutoff. And I can tell right now by reaching, it is all the way down. But something is wrong with our cable, because it will not move. What normally happens on the factory application with the electric solenoid there, that electric solenoid, well, I've got it inside here. This is what your solenoid looks like. And when you turn the key on, this has a 3-wire hookup, 2 powers and a ground. And when you turn the key on, a large pull-in magnet will pull this up, turning the fuel on. There's also a smaller keeper magnet. What normally will happen, the larger pull-in magnet will burn out and not pull this in. So you can reach, with your key on, normally you can reach under, pull this lever up by hand, and the secondary magnet will hold it open. So if you ever run into an issue where your 12 valve will crank over but it won't start, turn it over with the key, leave the key on, come out here, find this solenoid, pull it up, and if it stays, that's your problem. Great, you can move on until you get somewhere where you can get it fixed. If it doesn't stay, it's not the end of the world. Grab you a zip tie, some tire wire, or something. Hold this up in place. That will get you home or get you to a shop. What you got to remember though is when you turn the key off, this will still be wired up. The engine will continue to run. You're going to have to come out here and cut your tie and shut the fuel off. So, this laying in the floorboard and this cable menagerie here tells me we've had a fuel shutoff problem with this truck before. So, since I eliminated the wiring from the truck, I'm going to reach in here, unhook this cable that for some reason won't want to move. I'm not even going to monkey with it because I'm not going to use that. To be real honest with you, when I seen this laying on the floorboard, I went ahead and ordered a new one. It's over there on the pallet racking. So this is no use to me. I may keep it just for the harness. So I'm going to reach in here and undo this cable. It's like it's got some kind of snap ring on it. Lever's moving freely, so the cable was holding our fuel shut off. Like I said, I don't know if the cable's stuck, broken inside. He thought he was pulling it, and he wasn't. I don't know. I'm not even going to mess with it at this point. So we've got that up. I'm not going to worry about wire tying it because we're not going to drive it. It should stay up long enough to do what we need to do. So we're ready to see if this thing will light. Make sure our key's on. Up. Starter wire. Here we go. Keep fingers crossed. That is awesome. Let's do it again, shall we? that's a major relief. That is just awesome. Like I said, there is nothing to making a 12 valve run. Nothing at all. I don't know what happened. I think dude that I bought it off of was just honestly tired of messing with it. And I can see why. This truck's really got nothing going for it. This truck is a piece of shit. But it's going to do great for what we want. Well, there you have it. One running 12 valve Cummins going into a square body. That's about all we're going to do for this video today. I'm going to start ripping this thing apart, removing the Dodge shipping crate from the Cummins 12 valve so we can put it in our square body Chevy. If you like what you saw and maybe even learned a thing or two, hit that thumbs up button. If you're an absolute hater and you think this was a waste of your time, then hit the thumbs down. But either way, I want to hear from you. Let's put something in the comments. If you want to continue to see this build or any of the other jackassery that goes on this channel, show that subscribe button some love. It ought to be down there somewhere. It's supposed to be, but I don't know. It shows up whenever it wants to. Kind of like that employee that everybody has. But that's it. I'm going to get busy tearing this thing apart. You tune in next week to see that. I'll catch you later. Hello! Welcome to another episode of Rico's Garage. I have here behind me our latest project. So, shit can't. That ain't gonna work. Hello, welcome to Rico's Garage. I have here behind me a fucking belch. That's nice. So with all of that out of the way, and you guys now knowing what we were doing with this truck, I don't know where I was going. We'll pull this up. Hey, buddy. Thanks. Yeah. Mom's taking the bathroom so I can use the bathroom. Okay. Leave this in your bloopers reel. Yep. So, if you like this video, maybe even learned a thing or two from it, go ahead and rub on that like button a little bit. She likes it. Didn't? Well, be a hater and hit the thumbs down video. That light is right in the freaking way.